What can dead people teach you about motivation, procrastination, and achieving your goals? Well, they can teach you plenty. See, there are two things that are the most factual about life: birth and death. Watching a child be born and watching someone be buried. Those are the only two things you could be absolutely assured of in life: that you were born and then one day you will die. When was the last time you walked through a graveyard? I mean, not for a funeral, but to get the most powerful sense of where you are headed. Not to depress you, but to motivate the hell out of you. To shake you out of ever taking your life for granted again. To give you a powerful realization that life is a delicate gift that can be taken away in an instant. My neighbor, a few doors away from me, woke up one morning. He went to work, and on the way home, a stolen catering truck crashed into him head on. And that night, funeral arrangements were made for him. He didn't wake up that morning while preparing his breakfast thinking, today someone will crash into me at 70 miles per hour and kill me. My wife will bury me this week. How much time do you have left to do all that you want to do? So his day started out like anyone else's day. Nothing was different. He woke up, turned off the alarm, took a shower, ate breakfast. Everything was normal for him. And he didn't know what was in the cards. How much time do you have left to do all that you want to do? Why do you think you'll have another decade to achieve your goals? You might have a year, 2 years, 5. Why do you think you could put off your dreams until next year? You might have 6 months. We have no idea. The time to get on with it is right now. See, I'm not here to give you a rah-rah speech. There's plenty of that stuff on YouTube. I'm not here to excite you, because when the excitement wears off after watching the rah-rah motivational video, you're right back where you started. I'm here to get you thinking differently about your life. Because if you could make a foundational change about how you think about living, how you think about your life, that will provide you with motivation that will never quit, because it's not superficial hype. It's an actual change in how you perceive life itself, not just about attaining goals. And even though you and I have likely never met, you and I have an interesting connection. You know that? Of all the years the planet Earth has existed, 4.5 billion. And all the years that man has roamed the Earth, 200,000. You and I just happen to be living in the same average 71-year window of life. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. The odds are mind-boggling. Kind of like we're on some kind of special team, a life team, if you will. And with any kind of team, when we members play in harmony, we win as a team. If we do otherwise, we all lose in little ways that are always felt at some level. I think you know it. So let's use this link that we share to rally us all together to make a commitment that the next 12 months of your life will be the happiest, most exciting, and prosperous and productive year of your life. Not by default, no, but by your committing to make it so. To lend a little extra helping hand, no matter how small and seemingly insignificant, to another fellow human being who shares this window of life with you. Can you open a door for a stranger just because you can? Can you pay the toll once a month for the unknown team member in the car behind you just because you can? Can you let the team member behind you in the supermarket line get in front, whether or not he or she has fewer items than you, just because you can? Could you pay the 50 cents for the chocolate bar for the child who's digging in his pockets, frantically searching for the extra nickel demanded by the cashier? Would you do it just because you can? Would you do these things simply because you can? Did you know that a person helped in such a way is more likely to help someone else that very same day? It's an incredible domino effect that could be put into motion by you. Will you commit to take a moment each day, week, or month to stop to be thankful for all that you have, for every functioning organ and system in your body, for the freedoms you enjoy and often take for granted or never even really think about, for the love and support of your friends and family and all those others experiencing the same short 71-year average life window with you? Will you commit to slow down and even stop just to breathe, relax, walk through the woods or sit by a stream, admire some flowers, and just think about the gift of life that's been granted to you? Think about what you've done with it so far. And most importantly, think about how much time you have left to do all that you want, and then commit to doing it, will you? Before you know it, your days will run out. Maybe in several decades, years, months, or the day after tomorrow. Every minute hand sweep on your watch shows more than simply 60 seconds going by. It's a deduction of 60 seconds from the bank account of your life, where the currency is not coins or bills, but time. Every sweep of the hour hand shows a deduction even more serious. The mismanagement of your life funds, your time, can't ever be fixed. You can't declare bankruptcy and regain the time you squandered. It can never be recovered. It's gone forever. But you can begin fresh. You can start over. You can make the decisions right now, today, that will affect your life from this day forward. The question is, will you? I like to think about setting goals and planning my life like this. I imagine that I'm able to stretch my arms into the future, and like a model maker building a ship in a tiny glass bottle, create the circumstances that will occur in my life as a result of the actions that I take today. I imagine my arms stretching through the months of an imaginary calendar to the month or year of my accomplishment. Then here's what I do. I set up my future. I build it. I construct it. My actions are the building materials of my future. My actions, not simply the plans. My actions are the lumber, the nails, the cement. If I don't act or take action in my present, I've sent no life construction worker working on my future. So what happens then? It's not good. Because when I arrive in that future, no house is built. I stare puzzled at an empty lot. I have spent my life money by living up to that future time, but the money spent was not invested. It was only spent, squandered, meaning I lived up until that point but did nothing to have a goal be realized. And now I am without that life money, and I am without anything of value built upon that empty lot. My hands hold the returns of a man who slept. Another way I like to look at planning my life is imagining myself in the future, and with those same rubbery, stretchy arms, I reach back in time to my present. With knowledge of where I am in that future time, I pretend that my future goal-achieved self is controlling the actions of my present self. The future me has already accomplished. He's shouting back in time, do this, do that. You'll be here soon. Get on with it. And I'll see you in a successful place before you know it. I know what needs to be done, and I'm telling you what to do. The graveyards of this country are filled with millions of people who never strive to make their lives into anything more than one of a common existence. Handed the gift of life, they never untied the ribbon. They never peeled off the wrapper. They never lifted the lid. They never peeked inside to see what could be. Take an hour to walk among them. Take a walk through a cemetery one day. But don't just read the headstones, the markers of gifts unclaimed, but closely listen as well. You'll hear the buried people speak words that can inspire, motivate, and set you on fire for living your own life. They speak of opportunities missed and risks not taken, relationships not cultivated, and fears never confronted. Theirs is a counsel not whispered or gently spoken. It's shouted to you through tears of sadness. It's yelled to you through thunderous storms of fruitless rage. My life is over, says one of them. You'll hear it from their earthen beds. I lived so long, but I accomplished so little. Look around, you'll see another tombstone. Another counselor. Her name's Cindy. She tells you of a life cut down by the sharp scythe of tragedy. She tells you about dreams unrealized, goals set too far in the future, mindless expectations of another dawn. She says, you know, that morning I had no idea. Not once did I think, today I die. Just like my neighbor. Besides her is Paul. Read his stone. Yeah, Paul, warm and compassionate guy, loving father of three, great faithful husband. He's now angry. Now he's burning with fury. One otherwise typical Thursday afternoon. Cancer knocked. Smiling at Paul's door. His doctor benignly said, well, Paul, unfortunately, the doctor didn't have to say anything else. His words could have been pretty much anything at all. The doctor could have completed that sentence about car problems, a weekend weather report, or a great play in last night's hockey game. The rest of the sentence just never left the doctor's moving lips. Paul's brain completed the sentence just fine. Yeah, Paul, unfortunately, cancer. Goodbye, Paul. Can you hear Paul's voice struggling to reach you when you walk through those gravestones? I hear it when I walk through cemeteries. Can you feel the vibrations in the soles of your shoes that touch the earth? That's now Paul's eternal home. Get on with your life. Knock off the bullshit and act now. I hear Paul. I hear him loud and clear when I walk through those stones. And I'll sometimes drive past the cemetery, and if I have some extra time, I'll get out. And I'll walk through those stones, and I'll read the dates, and I'll read the names, and I'll read some of the inscriptions. And to me, there's nothing more motivating than looking at cemeteries of people, typical of the average individuals who never strive to really fully accomplish everything in their lives that they could. I hear Paul. I hear him loud and clear. I hear him while I'm walking the halls of hospitals. You ever do that? Visit friends or family members? And I look in the room of people who are bedridden, they're sick, they're dying. I often imagine that they see me walking past the room, and they are secretly praying to God that they were in my position, that they were the ones walking past people's rooms and looking in, and not the ones in bed sick and dying. I hear Paul every time an ambulance screams by, the workers inside clutching the delicate threads of life. I hear Paul every time I see a funeral procession. Yeah, I do walk through cemeteries. And one gravestone that I remember best, I'll never forget. It said, remember man as you walk by. As you are now, so once was I. As I am now, so you shall be. Prepare for death and follow me. It hit me hard. That was the inscription on the headstone of a guy buried in the William Penn Cemetery on Bristol Road in Warminster, Pennsylvania, who lived nearly 2 centuries ago. If you know the area, check it out for yourself. These words haunted me. And as they caught my eye as I walked past, I stopped. Believe me, I stopped and I read it over and over and over again. I actually kneeled down. They hit me hard. This man, I thought to myself, is talking to me. He's telling me from his grave, to get on with my life. He's saying that I too, unquestionably, will end up no differently. And that the only time to do anything about it is right now. How silly I am to think that tomorrow will most certainly come, just like my neighbor did. How foolish I am to keep thinking, oh, there's plenty of time. Plenty of time. I could do it some other time. But how fortunate I am to realize just how wrong is my thinking. All right, thanks very much for watching and listening. I have to go now. I am just too far behind on my goals. I'm too far behind on my dreams. And my days, just like yours, are numbered. My future, your future, begins exactly now. Fugit hora, the hour flies.